Happy Hump Day! And on this beautiful Hump Day, we have another bank that is on the verge of collapsing. Yes, you heard that correctly. First Republic Bank's stock is down approximately 32% as of today, and they've also been halted for volatility. Let's get into it, talk about what this means, and why the public servants are to blame yet again. Also, too, remember when the public servants stated that the banking crisis was not a financial crisis or United States issue, it was a crypto issue? It wasn't. It was literally negligence done by the Federal Reserve and other public servants. They just need a scapegoat. Anytime something bad happens that could potentially make them look bad, they think that we're stupid. So they go ahead and blame it on a separate industry. If anything, crypto is actually trying to change the narrative and test the narrative here as far as hard assets go, or our fiat currency. And remember, Bitcoin, a finite asset. There will only be 21 million Bitcoin ever made. And the reason why this is so important is part of the banking collapse, and part of the reason why we're having this problem is the Federal Reserve printed an ungodly amount of money because they needed to pay all of these things out during the panorama. Listen, I get it. We need to have access to money sometimes. But at the same time, when you're doing it in an irresponsible manner, you refuse to balance your budget, you just print money and spend it and have no regards for anything else, this is what happens, okay? And economics 101, the more supply you have of something, the cheaper it goes. There's an inverse relationship. And this is why we see the value of Bitcoin sustain some. Also, Bitcoin is getting close to hitting $30,000. Why is this happening? Part of the reason why, I think, is because there's a finite supply. You can't make more Bitcoin. With fiat currency, with the US dollar, you best believe you can print. And in this article from, CNBC, this is what they're stating. The pitch is something like this. Purchase bonds from First Republic at above market rates for a loss of a few $1 billion. If not, these same banks will face roughly $30 billion in FDIC fees when First Republic fails. The advisors had already lined up potential purchases of new First Republic stock if they can fix the bank's balance sheet, according to the. So what happened here is what a lot of these banks did. They went and they bought bonds because they thought it was a good investment. And again, banks take our money, they invest it in other things, or they loan it out, and that's how they generally make it. So when First Republic and a lot of these other banks that collapse bought these bonds, they didn't expect interest rates to increase this rapidly. And guess what? They're going to get bailed out. Guess who's going to pay for them to get bailed out? You. So basically, a bunch of people that made poor financial decisions get money from us. And they're telling us we're not allowed to remove our funds from these banks. And they blame the bank run on us, or the collapse of these banks on. And please keep in mind, they want to change the Accredited Investor Law. Basically, to have any type of investing power, like the big boys, they want to remove, or they want to actually change it from having assets of $1 million to $10 million, which we all know is not really easy to do, especially in today. Anyways, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but banks and traditional financial institutions, they literally float around the same people. A lot of the people affiliated with like Lehman Brothers and all those other companies that collapsed back in 2008, they just get recycled and placed in other positions in traditional financial banks, and the same stuff ends up happening. So as Americans are struggling, we're having trouble paying our bills due to inflation. They're taking our taxpayer dollars and they're going to inject it into the FDIC, inject it into the banks, inject it everywhere else it needs to be, so we don't see a collapse. And again, I don't know about you guys, but if I don't have money to purchase something in my home, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And I don't use other people's money to buy it. And the reason why this does kind of relate back to crypto is that the SEC is supposed to be here to protect us, etc. But number one, we don't have clear guidelines for cryptocurrency. We're not generating new revenue from cryptocurrency. And on top of it, they literally halted a stock because it's too volatile. Anyways, babes, shout out to Bitcoin pumping to close to $30,000. We're in this consensus pump. I'm 100% here for it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, follow me for more breaking crypto and traditional financial news. Bye. Oh, and always try to opt out with Bitcoin.